about you, baby. Yeah, I'm mad about you.
Hey, this is Time Bomb, and if it's your first time checking out the channel, hit that subscribe button for daily updates. So today is going to be the third in my series of doing a scheme for each playbook. This week, by request, can't remember who it is right now as I'm recording this, but I'm going to put it on the screen right here, ask for it, so you got it. This is the Cardinals playbook scheme. If you've got a request for a playbook scheme, put that down below in the comments, and I'll get to that as soon as I can. And I gotta say, I really like this playbook. I had not used it really before, but it's awesome. It's like my favorite playbook. I have some shotgun formations, but mainly I like it out of the single back sets and the strong formation. So thank you for giving me the suggestions for this one. Even though I guess I didn't have as good a weekend league using it as I did previous week, but still I like it way more. It's a great book. All right, so let's get right into it. The first formation I'm going to look at is out of the single back. It's the ace formation, and I like this PA misdirection shot out of it. For the defense, I'm going to put them into a 3-4 and just we'll start with a cover 3 here with hard flats. Okay, so let's look at the play art of it. You see that first thing I do is I cancel the play action on the running back by putting RB into a pass block. Now, I'll also sometimes put Y into a drag here, and that'll help pull down the linebackers to give X some time to get open. So as long as my blocking is good, you know what I mean, right there, he should get open downfield. That route is so powerful. Like sometimes too, depending on what the coverage is, I'll put A into a streak just to help draw that safety away as well, if just in case they're staying close, and the linebacker, and then he got to me there, but that just creates, because I sent the tight end on that streak, I had a little less time in the pocket and the heat got through. So let's cancel that. Also you can put Y onto the streak for the same reason, and you might have a playmaker. Clark is who I will use there, and I can playmaker him into the open field as I need to. So just kind of watching, see that draws him over there, and I couldn't quite make it through, but you see like the user or the linebackers kind of got to make a choice who they're going to cover. Are they going to cover the streak, or are they going to cover X coming over the middle there? And you've also got B, who you can, smart route into an out route or whatever you want to do there as well. We're going to cancel the play action. Onto the sidelines, gets the toe tap. That X route is so powerful. So the next formation, let's take a look at some of the gameplay here I have too. You can see me rolling way out in the pocket and just watching X move across the field. And I mean, it's a tight throw, and I had Chet Johnson there to make the play, but he gets there and keeps it in bounds. Same thing here. You see I've got Y running the drag route underneath, and it opens up the space for X right over the middle there. And that was just didn't even low pass it. I just put it right there for him with a lead slightly upfield. Now here again, this play you see we've got Y on the streak route going up the field, and that draws that safety out, leaves more room for X. He can turn it upfield, and I try to make the spin move to get past him, but couldn't quite do it on those two guys. Now, here's same play. I've got Y running the drag route across, and you see when everything's kind of covered and I need to get rid of it, I've got Y right there running that drag across the field. So the next play that I like to run out of this same formation of the ace is the Florida drive, or the flanker drive. I'm not sure what the FL stands for, to be honest. It shows my lack of football knowledge, not knowing that. Same thing for the offense. Going to put them into a cover 3 again. Show the play art here. What I like to do again is to just put RB into a pass block. And I really like the B, A, and Y routes, just the stock routes that we have here. We get the motion from B, then runs the drag across the field. More often than not, that's what I'm looking to throw, right there in the middle, and then try to just turn it up and break past the user. Oh, look at that, breaking those tackles and getting free. And then once I can just get past the user or, the AI, turn it upfield, a 5-yard play can turn into 10 and get the first down. It's good for 5 yards. A lot of times when I'm on the 38 on third down, I just want to get past the 35-yard line, get in field goal range. I'll use this play. But I also like to just take the quick read at Y. Just depending how the linebacker is going to play it, if the safety is maybe in a flat or a cloud flat and he's going to move past, he's going to give room for Y to just get right open here in the middle of the field. And you see the second controller was on the linebacker there, so he didn't really get a lurk on it, but if that was a computer, he definitely would have picked that off. But let's take a look at the A route too. See, it cuts in. I like this route a lot when I'm close to the end zone, 10 yards away. Just that cut and then just kind of make the pass inside can kind of get picked off, I guess, like that too if you're not careful. But a lot of times people will draw the drag route, the B route will draw the linebacker down, so it'll have a little more room for that A route as it cuts over. Let's try it again. Oh, I don't got nothing. I'm going to playmaker up to B. Toe tap. Oh, he's out of bounds on it. But it's good play for that. When you've got everybody over there, then if there is a user and you've got good protection, then they've kind of got to decide. So let's take a look at some of the gameplay footage for that route. So right here we see I'm going to give it I'm close to the end zone. I just need a few yards, and I check it down to B. See, just like I was saying, turns it up, gets hit hard, and does a flip. He's down into the 5. Again, here you see where I was talking about Y getting open up the middle. See, I pass it over to him, and then I just hit the A button, do a quick possession catch to get down inside close to the red zone. And there we go, right? See, we see the A route. As soon as it cuts right on the goal line, I pass it to him. He's able to pick it up, turn it into the end zone for a quick touchdown. So the next play that I like out of this ace formation is the skinny post, which I definitely had in my last book. I'm going to go the cover 3 hard flat. And the two things that I really just like to do with it is just to have the Y put onto a drag, just so I can playmaker it upfield or just check it down. It's pretty much like a safety play for me. I was trying to playmaker him up, but I couldn't get it. Let's actually take a look at the gameplay footage here to see that. See, if I put him in the Y, quickly playmaker him up, and I hit him right as he turns upfield. You want to hit him. The other thing I like to do with this skinny post is to turn my B route into an out route, and then I'll smart route it by hitting the RB button when I go into the hot route options. And then if it's like a longer, like a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 20, then I might use this just to try to get it downfield and then throw it right to the sidelines. He was in a cloud flat a little tighter than I'd like there, but just trying to hit that guy on the outside when I can are kind of the two ways. Let's take a look at the gameplay footage for that. I think I have, a long situation here. I use the skinny post, roll out in the end zone, pressure's coming, and I just lay up a dot. Those smart routes are so powerful, so you really just want to, when you're in a long situation like that, you don't need that many routes. Maybe a streak running beside it just so the safety has to make a decision one way or the other, but just getting your guy in that position to make the smart route, you can get those long first downs converted a lot of times, either doing a smart routed in or out deep. The last play that I do out of the ace formation is just a run play that I like to have. It's the stretch run play, and again, I'm just going to go into a cover 3 for the defense, and all I'll really do is I'll switch the direction sometimes depending, and so that it's default to the right, and I'll set up to the left, and then I'll motion this wide receiver on the right side over, and it kind of looks like that Florida drive play from earlier, and then when I hike the ball, it just gives me a little extra blocking on the side that I'm running to, make a move, beat people downfield. It's good to have a run play to mix into this formation, so at least they're not totally committing to the pass every time you call ace. So here we go, we got some gameplay footage of that formation as well. You see me using it, same thing, I didn't motion the guy, but you can still get decent blocking. And if I had had the motion guy coming over, then there's a better chance that he would have been able to break that for a longer drive. All right, the next formation out of single back that I like to use is the where we go, the Y-Trips 2 slot here, and it's only a couple plays that I really like to use of it. First thing that I do is I'll change that tight end slot to the halfback draw. I'll have that in my audibles, and so with this draw, all I really like to do is to ID the defensive tackle right in the middle there, and then the QB, he drops back, he really sells it well, and then gives you, well, I didn't hit the hole, but you can see it's pretty decent there. I'm going to try it again. ID the DT, it's a good drop back, And, oh, he broke it again. Gets that nice block shed. But let's take a look at some of the gameplay footage. Maybe because, your opponent, a lot of times will run this no huddle after running a passing play, so we won't really see it coming. So let's take a look here. You see I drop back, sell it pretty well, and I'm able to cut over and outside, make a move, and almost beat him. You see he was able to knock down my spin move, but I think it's a lot more successful than when they don't see it coming and they drop that hole. It gives you a lot of space. I get it for chunk yardage. I'm running this play and I'm getting 10 yards when I'm mixing it in with my passing plays, especially if I've got like a good drive going. See there, I burn that hole. I've got so much space. I just got to make one more move and I can basically cut outside like this, get all the way downfield, get in for the score. Now, the reason why those draws so successful, I think, is because of this next play I'm going to call. It's the PA slot cross, which you see the art for it, very simple, but much like that misdirection play, these routes are just so overpowered. The RB is like kind of the same route as that as the X on the misdirection, but it's coming from the other side on this play, and you just kind of have to be patient, see how it goes, and as it develops. See the slot cross? It can just kind of get in between all of those zones right there. And as soon as it gets past the linebacker, that's when it's going to get open. You just kind of got to make that throw. I lead it like a little bit upfield so we can kind of get just a little bit ahead of the linebacker, like up a bit more. As soon as he crosses over, hit him up with it. The safety just can't get down enough in time on that route. But they might get a little used to that route, and then the user will start covering it. So that's when you need to start adjusting the play or looking for the other routes. The B route as well, as soon as it cuts over here, so you can get it and throw it right in around all those zones as well. It can just do quick possession catch and drop down. I'll do that a lot of times too on 3rd and longs just to try to mix it up. And you could also start throwing in some drags. You can put X on a drag, so then you just have like a nice little check down in case RB's not getting covered in time. You got some heat, you can check it down there and still get 5 to 10 yards on the play just from that. Or, same thing, you can check down the other way by putting B on the drag route. I always cancel that play action on this play too. But same thing, you get that, a little bit of safety there. You can check it down, make a move, try to get downfield. Between this and the misdirection, it's, I don't know, at least 60% of my offense is calling those two plays, and then probably like the strong formation for my run plays then is the next mix of it. So let's take a look at the gameplay here. You see I'm in the Y trips, just looking for the RB to break, just to you see 4 guys. That's a dot right there. You see 4 guys around him. He's a dot in the middle, wide open. Again, we see this same play. I'm just looking for RB, I think, over the middle. And I throw it. You can really see the lead throwing it up. It gives him more room. And I rack catched it, and he went out of bounds, unfortunately, there. Again, same play. Just got, I think B is coming on the drag down low there. And he drew some people down, so it gave RB a little more room to get open because of it. A good pass protection, and there we see me using the B route on a probably smart routed to be to the first down there, and that's showing the other one. And on this play, I have the tight end Ingram A here running a streak up the middle, just because I could see them committing to RB a little early, getting over into a cloud flat there, and I'm able to hit A. So let's take a look at that in the practice mode here. I'm going to put A on that streak. We see him going up here. Let's see how they break over. So he's kind of got to commit to one or the other there, and then A is going to get open up the middle, just like that. So it's good to mix that combination of that route in as well. The next play that I like to use out of the Y trips here, it is called, is this a slot spot, I believe? Yeah, the slot spot. And it's similar to like Salem. You would see in a lot of formations that have like a kind of a C route. Oh, did I just, you know what? Put these into a cover 3, and we'll put it into a cloud. So it's in a cloud flat. And I did that because this should be a little tougher for X cooks to get open on. I don't throw that too much for that reason. I just like that route to be a decoy, but if it is open, then I will throw it to it occasionally. But the main routes I'm going for on this are A and RB. RB for my check down, A up the middle on the seam if it gets open. Just looking at it quick like this, and I saw the linebacker committed to the A, so I didn't want to throw it to him. I just went down to RB. So let's take a look at the gameplay footage here. You see he's dropping back, and there in this play, the linebacker did kind of commit a little bit over, but I had the room up the seam, so I just kind of hit a low pass up to A. And here it looked a little more covered. I didn't want to throw it, so I just checked down to the RB. Just a very simple play I like to mix in, so I'm not just using the draw and the slot cross. I've also got this slot spot to mix in. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the X is a great route too. You can keep an eye on it. Probably put Y into a pass block, but you can just it is a decent, C route. See how it gets open. It does stop and kind of cut straight across. So it is decent to use. It's just not the main thing I'm looking for on this play, just because it looks so much like the slot and I'm using the draw. I think it's just another play to misdirect with something different. The next thing we're going to look at is my main run formation. This is where I really like to establish my run game out of. It's the strong slot formation here, and I'll put the halfback toss in my X audible. I'll put the halfback dive, leave that in the Y, and then I'll put the halfback stretch in the LB audible. And I'll usually come out in the toss. Put the defense into a, guess what? Cover 3 again. So I'll just kind of take a look. Usually if I'm on the left side of the field and there's more room on the right side of the field, then I'll run the toss to the right. But what I like to do is to ID the mic over on the side that I'm running to and then motion this wide receiver over to the right side of the field just to get an extra blocker, and it can just, kind of help it. See, it's terrible right there against this AI. They nailed it, but it is effective against my human opponents. Same thing with the halfback stretch. I like to run it to the left when I'm on more of the right side of the field, and I'll hit the right stick to the left so it changes the direction of the run to the left. Now, with Cooks here, I like to snap the ball right when he gets in between Hogan and the left tackle, just because I want to kind of him to block those guys in there. The tight end's going to be kind of running over to give a little more space as well. And it's just if I'm too far to the left of the field, then he won't let me snap the ball until he gets over to where Gronk is, basically. So I'm going to check it out here, see if he'll let me get the snap off in here. Yes, he will. So I get this blocking, which is it's usually a little bit better. The AI blew that up huge in the backfield. But that's what you want there, because if it's, let's just see here. If the ball's like a little bit more over to the hash mark here, and if I call the stretch out of this, then it's not going to let me snap the ball until he gets almost over to where Gronk is. See, I'm trying, but it's not going to let me snap it till there. So that's just a little bit later than I'd like, and because I want his blocking to be right there in between the number 2 wide out and the left tackle, just to help create a better lane for me to run out of there. And then the other play that I like to do to just give me 3 directions to kind of run with depending on the look is to use the dive, which is just going to go up the middle, then I ID the tackle, and I can, snap it at any point. If I snap it here, it's looking like it's going to the left, and then if I wait over here, he'll think it's going to the right, but then really the play is going right up the middle. And it's going to create that, you saw that gap right there in the blocking, that it's going to give me a lot of space. If I can make one move, I can pretty much get into some open field, and then it's only one more move to pretty much get to a touchdown. So it's kind of like a great running threat, because you have 3 options every time you come to the line with it, and you're just making the decision. You've just kind of got to get in your opponent's head. So just like here in the gameplay footage, you see, I'm coming out from like my own 10-yard line. You see that wide receiver motioning over to the right. So my opponent doesn't adjust well enough. I'm able to cut it kind of inside and then break it outside, just kind of make a move, burn another guy. He is able to get back and stop me, but you can see the power of this run. Again, same thing. This is the toss again, going to the right side, gets that blocking. He makes that block. I'm just watching. If I can make that move when a man gets close, then I can burn him all the way downfield once I get outside. Look at him getting all the way down here. Gets one last guy to beat, and he gets that late hit on me to stop me at the 1. Coming out from the 40 again, you see that man in motion. He's going to make his way upfield. He's blocking the safety way downfield, so that gives me tons of space once I do make that move to break free, and then I need to make a couple moves to get there, but then I'm gone once I do. And that just helps me set up my whole running game running those. And then here on this next one, we're going to see the dive. Let's see, I don't put anyone in motion, so he was kind of waiting for that, I think, and it kind of throws him off when he doesn't see the motion in that formation. And I take it outside, and I'm downfield. I just needed one block, and I can pretty much get away. And then once I've been running that toss down the field, they also don't expect the stretch to the other side. You see that blocker move over to the middle. I just have to make one little move, and I'm able to get outside and around everyone before he really knows what's happening. So that's pretty much my... Oh, we got another a little bit longer out here. We see I'm taking it inside the 20 in the red zone. Same thing. I've been running the toss the whole time. He just doesn't expect me to cut in and then back out again with the stretch. It's such a good run scheme for me to use those three. Those three run plays, you set up those runs, then you work into the other under center, the ace formation, and the Y trips. You've got a really versatile attack already. But that's not all. I do also work out of the shotgun from this formation. Pretty much only 2 formations and a couple of plays that I am using, though. So my first shotgun formation is the first one here. It's the split close. I think the first play that we should take a look at is the split, the power O. It's a great run play because it's coming out of a shotgun formation. They're not expecting it. Most people are going to expect you to pass out of this formation. I'll just kind of ID the outside linebacker on it. So when I'm just cutting out, it just gives me a bit more room. You can really kind of go parallel before you need to cut out. You really go that way and then, or even down and back out. And I know a lot of times it just, the way that the blocking goes, it does give you the space to cut out, outside. It's a great run play for you. And you see here, in the gameplay footage, I'm using this thing, and I use it a little seldomly, and this one's more up the middle, and then I cut outside. You just kind of have to look at the read of where the gap is, depending on the defense against you. The next play that I like to use out of the split is more looking for a little bit deeper against people. It's out of... it's called the double ins here, and there's a couple ways that I will run it. So I'll put both B and A kind of like on a streak and a fade, and then I'll block the backfield, and then I've got X kind of coming over. So I'm just basically trying to draw everyone out just to try to make it open for X downfield here. If you can get to him, it's picked off, but it's kind of like a deep shot play. The other way that I can kind of do it is to leave it stock the way that it is, but I'll put A on a drag route rather than just that play right over the middle here. So just kind of look at the way that it develops, and if I can, just check it down. And that hard flat was a little too close to it, but that's kind of the 2 ways I run it here. We see running the deep version where they had the streak fade combination, X cutting over, and I make a deep long throw, and I use a spec catch. So I get a little lucky on that one, but that's sometimes you need plays like that. Same thing here where I have the drag coming over the middle just to give me a little check down. I see the open field, I hit him, I try to just turn it upfield and get out of bounds. It's just a good safety little formation to make some quick little plays with. But my main play out of this one is the play action F slide. So I will just block my running back, and then I'll leave everything stock here. And a lot of times I'll be looking for X just kind of coming over there. I'll just be watching the play if there's enough room for him. And then I also like... I also like the B route here, just kind of cutting over the middle, just kind of looking for it to get open. I can use a possession catch. I should wait for it to develop a little bit longer than that. Let's try again here. Put Y into a block. Go B coming. Oh yeah, we got it there. Gonna throw it down. See, that route's great. But one of my favorite routes I would say to use on this one is what I'm really looking for the most is the RB route here. I'm just really looking to get, a nice little quick little release on it for a couple yards when it's a short situation, 3rd and 5. That's what I like to use. I can see I've got the hard flat going on, so I'm going to put these into a cloud flat because I think that's when it's a little bit more dangerous. Yeah. So if he is backing up there, then... he's got pretty decent coverage on it. Can we get him to turn upfield? One hopper. I like to use that RB route. Let's take a look at some of the gameplay footage. We see here in this first one, I'm looking actually at the X route as it cuts out towards the sideline. I'm able to find the gap between those 3 zones around it. I think here we're going to look more at the drag. Yeah, B's coming over the middle. We see it open. I'm able to check down to him, get past the first yard down marker, and get a few more yards after that. Here we see I actually moved X in to the middle of the pack a little bit more, and then I'm just watching RB, and he's able to get over. I get some nice blocking from my wideout downfield here, and I'm able to break down for a touchdown. Let's try it that way. Oh, no, he wasn't moved in anymore. Maybe it was just a Tampa 2 that I was going against that gave me just a bit more room for RB to get opened in there in that seam. All right, next formation that I use out of this book is the bunch. Now, I don't use it that much as other playbooks, but I like this PA bunch shot play, and I'm really only looking to do a couple things with it, I guess, but the main thing that I like about it is, I'm going to cancel the play action, is I like this A check and release route. So I'm really just kind of, if I get development downfield, good, but I'm really looking for A, and if it's not open, then I probably should throw it away, because we see here that's not going to take care of it. But let's take a look at the gameplay footage. Again, I think it's versus a I think it's versus a Tampa 2 that it's doing a lot better with when it's checking down, because we see it coming off the check here, and there's just so much open field. He's able to just kind of get wide on it, see, and then he's able to turn it up, get a good 15 yards on that play. So it's one play that I like to work in as well. My favorite play out of this book's bunch is the Y trail, and there's, I guess, basically two ways that I like to use this play. I like it to go for this route that RB is running. So I'll put B onto a streak and block everyone, and just kind of watch RB as he's getting outside and try to just hit him down there. You see clearly that hard flat was able to commit to it, and I wasn't able to hit him. But the other way that I like to run this Y trail is to put everyone into a block, but then the RB, I'm going to motion over to the left side. Then when I snap the ball, as soon as he cuts over the middle of the field, that little route there is getting open so often for me. I've got the drag too. Do that same motion. You can check down to B on the drag, cutting across as well, but both have just been getting so open for me. It's a great little play. Get either the 5 or 10 yards that you might need on those, like, 3rd and 10, those desperation 4th and 10. I love this route coming over the middle. It's definitely one of my new favorite plays. I've been running it so often. Well, I've tried to balance it so that my opponent doesn't see it coming. I'll even, put run that same motion, but then do a draw or like an inside zone to just try to help me out. We definitely got some gameplay footage of using that play. You see it motioning over, got everyone blocking, just basically watching the user and trying to just throw it in between those two linebackers or maybe the safety, depending if he's dropping. Again, same thing. You see it moving over. I've got a streak as well for A, which helps to pull the one linebacker a little bit deeper, give a little bit more room. So as long as I beat that, just turn it in there. This last one is the same bunch Y trail, but I'm just going to put RB, A into a streak, B into a fade, and then I'm just going to hit RB running outside. I just use like a low pass there to find them. So those two versions of that Y trail really effective for me, probably a big part, 10% of my offense, something like that. And the last few plays here, they're just desperation kind of plays that I used out of... right beside the bunch, I believe. Yeah, this tray right here. You see I motion the X route running deep over to the right side, and then I just double tap and send that X button ahead and just try to beat that man, make a lucky move, and able to get the touchdown. A similar thing on this PA shot where I cancel the play action on this one, and you see here I put my Y into a fade route going up, and I just leave everything the same except I cancel the play action. And I think it's a bad user. I just, again, double tap on Y, and we see him click on, make a bad move, and then I'm able to beat him deep to get a quick 7 before the end of the half. But just even if you're getting incompletions on those ones, if your opponent thinks that you are looking for these deep shots off of it, that's when you can go to the inside zone out of this tray, which the blocking is actually pretty good for it. Having your 3 wideouts all on the same side makes it a pretty tough little run play. We see here I got some gameplay footage of this as well. You just kind of want to ID either that outside linebacker or the CB, depending. Maybe they'll be coming out in nickel. You just got to ID someone, kind of find your way through, make a move, cut downfield. You can make some big runs, get some chunk yardage that way. I love this card scheme. I love this playbook. Like I said, I'm using the under center stuff probably 60% of the time, running the ball maybe 20%, maybe 40% sometimes, depending. Using the shotgun stuff probably a good 30% of the time. I'm not sure what the other 10% would be. Some mix of the two, of the strong probably specifically. And yeah, this is a great scheme. Thanks a lot for checking it out, guys. I've been Time Bomb. Give me requests for more books you'd like to see. Hit that like button if you're down with this series. Hit that subscribe button because I really need those subscribers. Thanks a lot. Catch you guys later.
Mad about you, baby. Yeah. I'm mad.